So you're thinking of getting the new Garmin CIRQA and you just can't wait to get it? Well, hold on. First, you need to make sure it actually fulfills all your wishes and that it actually performs well. Now, my full review will still take a week or two to complete since I want all the data I can get before making my judgment. However, if you want some early insights into the heart rate tracking performance both during exercise and sleep, heart rate variability measurements, and sleep stage tracking of this new Garmin CIRQA, then this video is what you're looking for. Now, these are all the results I obtained for my first 4 days and 3 nights of Garmin CIRQA testing, so strap in for those initial results. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Rob and I'm a postdoctoral scientist specializing in biological data analysis. And as always, that will be the focus of this video. As I said though, the details of the results might still change a bit as I gather more data. However, this video will give you a first impression for those that are on the edge of deciding of whether or not they want to grab a Garmin CIRQA. At the end, I'll also share some of my personal experience and some of the quirks I've had with the Garmin CIRQA. And let's actually switch things up from normal and let's start with some nighttime measurements, specifically the heart rate and heart rate variability data. Then we'll move to the sleep stage tracking and finally we'll take a look at the heart rate tracking during exercise. By the way, you might have noticed this is not my normal studio. I'm actually turning 38 by the time you're seeing this video. This is the day before. So I'm here visiting my parents and this is my old childhood home. And this here is actually the room I grew up in when I was little. But I have all the results here on my laptop, so let's take a look. And as I said, I wanted to change things up by looking at the nighttime measurements because these I've not shown in my initial review. And this is based on 2 nights. The reference failed for one of the 3 nights. I do have 3 nights of data for the sleep stages. Along the horizontal axis, we have that reference, which is a Polar H10 ECG chest strap, which can measure my heart rate quite reliably. And along the vertical axis, we have the Garmin CIRQA. And if the two would perfectly agree, all points should be on or close to the black line. But we're looking in a super narrow window, so between, let's say, 42 and 52 BPM. And within that, the Garmin CIRQA was quite well able to distinguish my heart rate. We can actually take a look at some example nights right here. This is the first night I have data for, with the reference in red and the Garmin CIRQA in blue-green. And indeed, over time, the patterns agree very well. Only the CIRQA sometimes detects a slightly higher heart rate for just a moment, and I think these might be moments when I get out of bed, and then the way Garmin calculates it is just slightly different from the way I calculate it because I have to guesstimate how they do it. So I think they put more emphasis on these high heart rates potentially. And we see the same for this second night right here. Overall, the patterns agree very well. For nighttime heart rate measurements, the Garmin CIRQA is just good enough, or actually quite good. I would be perfectly happy with this. What is much harder is measuring heart rate variability because you need to actually measure the individual distances between heartbeats. So let's take a look at those results. They are slightly worse in some ways. So in the higher HRV range right here, the Garmin CIRQA tends to detect slightly lower values. So the reference is a bit higher right here, but overall the agreement is still quite good. We can actually see that we're looking at some of the individual nights. So we have the Garmin CIRQA in blue-green and the reference in red. And indeed the reference in the higher heart rate range tends to be ever so slightly higher. But again, I have to guesstimate here how Garmin calculates this. And overall, this is just looking very good. Also, the second night looks very good. But here we can actually see in the beginning it has slightly too high HRV, at least compared to how I calculated with the reference. And here near the end, slightly too low. But overall, the patterns agree very well. And I just had nothing to complain about here. I'm quite happy with the heart rate and heart rate variability measurements during the night. And if you rely on those to get a better estimate of your recovery, I think these are quite reliable. But what about the sleep stage tracking? And this I tested using an EEG device that can actually measure my brain waves, which is sort of a silver standard in testing. And those results are displayed right here, with the sleep stages as measured by the reference on top and the Garmin CIRQA on the left. And if they would perfectly agree, all values on the diagonal in yellow right here should be 100%. Deep sleep agreement, really good at 77%. So that's some of the best I've seen. Light sleep agreement, okay at 64%. And REM sleep agreement is the worst at 46%. And more of what the reference said was REM sleep was actually detected as being light sleep instead by the CIRQA. So that's the sleep stage it struggled most with, and actually more than some of the other recent devices I've tested. So the 470 and 170. and these have the same sensor. So I don't know if this is by chance, but as you will see in some of the example nights, Garmin basically detected no REM sleep for the first half of my night for most of these nights. But let's first take a look at deep sleep, which agreement was quite good. So all the deep sleep detected by the reference on top is marked in blue-purple, and also marked in the same color on the bottom where we see the sleep stages as measured by the Garmin CIRQA. And what you can see is that basically all of the deep sleep detected by the reference was also detected as deep sleep by the Garmin CIRQA, but just a bunch of extra deep sleep was detected as well. And we also see that for this second example night right here. So deep sleep good, but some extra detected, but the REM sleep is where results get weird. So for this night right here, for instance, the first 3/4 of the night, no REM sleep was detected. So the REM sleep as marked by the reference is on top, and then I took the same marking on the bottom. And you can see that only here near the end, the Garmin CIRQA detected some REM sleep, but very little and not exactly correctly positioned. And if we take a look at this second night right here, again, for the first 2/3 of the night, no REM sleep was detected, but the last 2 segments agree rather well. For this last example night, no REM sleep was detected for the first half of my night, but then later on the segments agree very well. So Garmin seems to struggle more with REM sleep for the first half of my night than the second half. Now this is personal to me, but I find it interesting to see. So you decide what you make of it. I'm actually emailing Garmin some more questions, and I already asked them some questions. If I have more info, I will let you know. As far as I understand it, it should be the same algorithm actually as on the Forerunner 70 and 170. So I would expect with more testing that results get better. And here we have an overview of a lot of the testing I've done, where the best devices are towards the top right. So let me zoom out a little bit. So along the horizontal axis, we have the average sensitivity over those 3 stages. And along the vertical axis, the worst sleep stage out of the 3. So it's not doing really bad, but also not as good as some of my more recent Garmin testing of the Forerunner 70, but also the Forerunner 170 right here. That video will come out soon. So it's somehow a little bit lower. Again, I don't know if this is by chance. It's not like it's doing really bad, but instead of being second tier, it's closer to third tier, but higher end of third tier. So not sure what to make of this. I'm really curious with my full review when I might have 7 to 10 days, which again, I would want more, but I can do only a limited amount. I would be curious if it then moves up a little bit and gets closer probably to the results of the Garmin Forerunner 70. I might even exclude these first 3 nights just to start fresh for that full review. So the heart rate tracking performance is pretty okay, though not great. Somewhat middle class to higher middle class in terms of heart rate tracking. Close to second tier, but not quite where the Forerunner 70 was, for instance. But what about heart rate tracking during exercise? This is probably one of the main reasons many people get a Garmin. So I roughly doubled my data now compared to my initial review, and I also have biking results now. But I actually want to start with indoor cycling, where we now have 2 indoor cycling sessions, and this just looks very good. So if the reference along the horizontal axis, the CIRQA along the vertical axis, and if they perfectly agree, all points should be on or close to the blue line. This just looks very good with a correlation of 0.99, which is very close to the maximum of 1. So that looks very good. Now you already saw this example spinning session. Now the second example spinning session also looks pretty good. There was some deviation in the beginning, but very minor. Nothing that would influence how I train. So this is just good. Happy with this. But what about running? Here we saw some artifacts in the initial review. And that's this run right here, where I did a lot of quick intervals. And there you could see it struggled a little bit in the beginning and also had some peaks in heart rate that I didn't really have, at least most likely I didn't have according to the reference. But now I did a more steady run and this actually looks really good. So here it agreed very well even when I took a break in between. So the faster half in the beginning and then a slower half after. And it didn't lock on to my cadence, so that's just a very good result. And combining those two now leads to a correlation of 0.93, which is pretty okay or pretty good, I would say. It's not perfect yet, but I expect with more runs that the results will probably look more like this because I usually run more similar to this. I normally wouldn't do these very short intervals, but that might be something that this older sensor of Garmin struggles with a little bit more, at least on my body. But what about biking outside? This we haven't seen in my initial review, and this actually looks very good compared to the competition. We have a correlation of 0.94, and most points are on or close to blue line. If there's deviation, it's more below the blue line than above it, so more often it's slightly too low heart rate. But if we take a look at those sessions, we can see most of the intervals were caught with some minor deviation, and also in this session right here. So bike riding looking very solid so far, and the lighter weight of the CIRQA here might play a part in it doing better than some other Garmin devices with this same sensor, and even then with a newer sensor. So that's heart rate tracking during exercise. I didn't do an extra weightlifting session, but as we saw in my initial review, there the tension on my wrist just really messed up that signal. So in general, Garmin devices on the wrist don't do so well when it comes to heart rate tracking during weightlifting, but most devices don't do that well for this particular exercise. And that brings me to one thing that I haven't been able to try yet, and that's the Biceps band. By this point, I've ordered 5 different ones from 5 different companies, and I'm seeing which one arrives first. But all indications are it will take weeks before I can test it on the biceps. The downside is here that the CIRQA doesn't use a typical size of connectors for the band. So if you see the band right here, you can see that these connectors right here are rather small. So not the best probably for getting a generic band. I searched online. I couldn't find a generic band yet that fits this size. I think a normal size would be like 22 or 26 millimeters, but this is much smaller. So if you know about any biceps band not from Garmin, let me know and I will buy it and get the testing done also on the biceps, because usually devices do perform better when they're worn on the biceps. You just get much better heart rate measurements. The sleep stage tracking might actually be a bit worse because the algorithm of Garmin might be less optimized towards that. But if you change it in the settings, it should take it into account. So make sure that you set both your wrists, so non-dominant versus dominant, and whether you're wearing it on your biceps, on your wrist. That will influence performance. For me, overall, so far with this initial test, I'm pretty happy. It's not perfect by any means, but the heart rate tracking is pretty okay, probably good enough for me. The sleep stage tracking is the one thing that could be better, but the heart rate and heart rate variability measurements during the night also looks pretty good. There are a few weird things that have happened so far. So the one thing is that one of the exercises I tried to manually log with the button just wasn't recorded. I'm not sure what's going on. And it actually takes quite a while each time to sync the CIRQA with my phone, a bit longer than some other devices. And in some moments it's been a bit annoying, nothing really bad. Overall, it's a solid Garmin device. When it comes to heart rate tracking, it's pretty okay. And I'm super curious to see what it does on the biceps, because this could be one of the best Garmin devices out there for heart rate if it improves on the biceps. A lot better even than some of their more premium devices on the wrist, just because this location for measurements is a lot better in general. Now, otherwise, of course, you're still dealing with the normal Garmin app, so you need to like that it is a little bit clunky in some regards, because they need to take into account so many types of devices that they make, and it's sort of historically developed. So for a general data overview and interpretation, I'm not personally the biggest fan of the Garmin app, but as a data aggregation app, it's really good, and I love how many devices I can connect to this and later look back at how my exercises went and how my trainings went. Now, stay tuned for my full review on the Garmin CIRQA. This was just a quick update I wanted to provide you with because I thought the data was just super exciting, and I had to do it on my laptop right here with a very improvised setting here in my old bedroom. Now, don't forget to subscribe if you want that update, and it would really help me if you like this video and leave a comment. Now, if you do decide to order yourself a CIRQA, maybe you want the Fitbit Air, an Apple Watch Ultra 3, or another watch on Amazon, use my affiliate link down below to support the channel without it costing you any extra. Or if you decide to get another device like the Whoop strap, the Aura Ring, the Ultra Human Ring Pro, you want to get the best discount possible, my affiliate links down below support the channel and support your wallet at the same time. Now, given that you watched this video on the Garmin CIRQA, I really recommend checking out this view on the Garmin Forerunner 70, which is almost the same price as the CIRQA but has a screen and did really well in my testing. And check out this video on the H-Sleep Pod.